such midfielder. So.
Before we start, we've got the lovely Jackie here today, who is an ST13 season ticket winner, and one of her prizes was to ask Frank the first question at today's press meeting.
Very good, Jackie.
So, no pressure.
Your question will definitely be better than the rest of these. I can tell you that already.
I've already said that to be fair.
Annie, Jackie.
So,
okay.
Whenever everybody's ready from the cameras, Jackie, you can kick us off. Is everyone good to go?
Thank you. I've had to write it down.
No problem, Jackie.
From your experience so far of the club and the local area, do you expect that the passion and rivalry between Forest and Derby will match up to any local derbies you've been involved in previously as a player?
Yeah, I fully expect it to. I played in a lot of London derbies, but one of the first things I realised when I got to Derby in this city, that it's a one club city, and what it means to the people here in Derby. The next thing I realised that Nottingham is pretty much next door. And the history between the clubs and what it means to both sets of fans. So I very quickly moved up to the area when I got the job. I speak to fans every day pretty much, and I have a big strong feeling of what it means to everybody, and I think I expect it to be up there with all the derbies I played in because of the intensity of it, because the fact that the two clubs are fighting at the top of the league or towards the top of the league this year. So I'm really excited, Jackie. I'm really excited to it's what as a footballer or a football manager that you're in the game for. So I can't wait for Monday night. I just hope that we perform to the level to send our fans home happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jackie will have the jitters. We actually get the jitters on this side. It feels different to us. It sounds like it feels. Some managers try and sit there and go, "Oh, it's just another game." But it sounds like it feels different to you.
Yeah, I'd be lying to you if it was just another game. I understand that some would maybe pour that news out there and try and play it down, but I think it's something we need to tap into. We can't turn away from the fact that we're two teams challenging close to each other for starters, but the history is even bigger than that. The history of what it means to the fans of this game. And as I say, I certainly feel it. I don't think it's anything wrong with the players. They should feel it. They should balance out the emotion with a cool head to try and perform well in the game without a doubt. But why not get excited? The whole place should be buzzing all weekend, should be buzzing on Monday. And for both sets of fans, when they come, they should expect to go and see an atmosphere and be entertained at a high level because of what this game means.
Do you think it will be a high-level game? I'm quite excited going into this one, having seen both teams play. I think it could be, I'm putting the kibosh on it now, but I think it could be excellent. Do you feel that?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. This is the Championship, so anything is possible for starters. But yeah, I think there are two teams that, as I said, are fighting towards the top of the league, trying to play good football, have individuals that can change games and turn games. Now, of course, derbies can sometimes cause a nervousness and a tenseness which can affect them. Let's hope it's not, because we want an entertaining game for the fans. Of course, we want to win it from our point of view. And we have one way of playing, and that's to go out and try and win the game. So hopefully that bodes for a good game from both sides.
Do you think you might reap the benefit of some of your selections from early in the season? I'm thinking of the League Cup selections, when you have big matches, and in a competition you might put on one side, you chose to play pretty much the team you've been playing all the time. Do you think some of the younger players might benefit from having played in those big atmospheres?
Well, I think they certainly would have benefited in their own sense in their own careers. So yes, that puts them in good stead to handle games of a magnitude. So we've got hopefully a balance here. We're very young. I think we're young. A lot of our squad are pretty young, but they can be helped by the older players, the Richard Keoghs, the Craig Brysons, the Scott Carsons, the Tom Huddlestons in the dressing room, people that have been there before. So yeah, I hope they have a bit of experience. It's one of those with the derby. I think we can try and predict, but predictions are kind of up in the air when you have two strong teams against each other, because the emotions can change things. Now, can we be the team that absolutely look after our emotions, channel them in the right way, and try and perform to our best?
Did you have a way of doing that when you ran up against big derby matches?
I sucked it in. I enjoyed it. I read the press. I spoke to fans. I spoke in the dressing room before about what it meant to us. And you have to feel it. There's no point in shying away from it. Because the moment you treat this as a normal game and potentially treat it a little bit passively, as if it's not that special, when the other team comes flying out, you have an issue. So I try to take it in completely, the atmosphere, and use it in the right way.
And the scheduling's added something to that as well. It'll feel intense working under those lights?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a long weekend, like the build-up, a game which adds to it, and then, an evening game, the intensity of it. For us at home, there's a responsibility on us to try and make that an advantage as players and as fans. I don't think I need to tell the fans that twice. I think that they'll completely be with that one. But that's for us to do and try and make it an enjoyable Monday night.
Frank, you've been winning games in different ways recently, and you ground one out against Wigan. That clean sheet, how important was that going into this game?
Well, it's important in its own sense because it won us the game, and it was being talked of before that. We work to try and get clean sheets. And going into this game, it's important because against a team like Nottingham Forest with the quality they have, against a team that's in a championship game, against a team that's in a big derby, there'll be moments where you suffer. There'll be moments where they have opportunities. So we have to be on our game to attempt to keep a clean sheet for starters. In terms of the actual game, of course, another clean sheet would be great for us. Whether it comes or not is another thing. Our intention solely has to be to try and win the game.
And what have you made of Nottingham Forest on the pitch this season? With Aitor Karanka in charge, they seem much more assured at the back than maybe they have been in previous seasons. Yeah,
of course. They've had a good season so far. They are organised. Karanka, I think, has history of being a very good manager, experience of being a good coach, good manager. Organises his teams very well, knows what it is to get up in this championship with the team. They invested, and went for it in the summer. Make no mistake, they brought in some real quality players. We have to be very aware of that they're a threat not just on Monday night, but in terms of the season.
Your senior players may have told you that the games between these two clubs recently haven't really meant a great deal in terms of league positions. They've been quite far apart, but not this time. Does that change this game or not?
Yes. Yeah, it does. I mean, a game will always be important for a club, whether there's a gap or not, whether you're in mid to bottom table, fighting for something above yourself. You always want to win a game for the reasons of where it puts you in the table. I think there is a slight edge to this. I know that fans will look at it every week, and we were level, then we were behind, and then we were above, and then they can enjoy the weekend better than the other ones and all that stuff. So for sure, it means slightly more, I think, for the fans. And in the big scheme of things, it's going into a period of us where we face teams around us in a lot of the games over the Christmas period. This being the first one. So every game will mean a lot for us in that sense.
Yeah, and on that, your Christmas period is actually quite significant because you do play Middlesbrough, Norwich and Sheffield United. So come, say, the 2nd, 3rd of January, you could be in a better position to judge how the rest of the season could go. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, we will be slightly defined, I would say, by these games. At the minute, I'm happy with where we are in the league. I feel like we're fighting, not ahead of ourselves, but if you'd have offered it to me at the start of the season with the transition and the youth and the change around a player, and the fact of what we had to do in terms of Bidra leaving with 22 goals last season, I would have said, yes, thank you very much, I'll take joint 3rd or 4th position. In January we'll know a lot more about ourselves because this is a tough group of games.
Talking of goals, Mason Mount sat where you were a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm really annoyed that I haven't scored in such a long time. And Tom Lawrence is another one of those players that hasn't been able to find the net after a great start scoring goals. Would you like to see more from him, and how does he get back to those levels where he was scoring plenty?
Tom Lawrence?
Yeah.
For me, the bigger picture is what you contribute as a whole in your performance to the team. Now, of course, Tom Lawrence or Mason Mount or Harry Wilson, they want to score goals all the time. That's the way it should be, and they can do that. And make no mistake, they will do it at different times. But there are times when your role becomes slightly different. The ball might not fall to you, but can you give defensive responsibility? Can you give the team, in terms of when we're attacking, a contribution that might not be goals? So of course I want to see goals from all of them, but what I want to see is input and a desire to play well and a contribution to performance, and I think I've seen that from them. Yes, it can get better without a doubt, but I can say that about every player in our team. I think we can all improve. So I've got no problem with anyone in our squad or our team. I just want them having a desire to improve every day out there on the training pitch. If they do that, then I go home happy.
And as far as Tom is concerned, when you maybe ask him to be a little bit more defensive, can you sympathise with him then when maybe he's not scoring the goals and the fans say get on his back because he's not scoring the goals that he has been?
No, I mean, that's a simplistic way of it. That's like saying that I ask him to be a left back rather than a left winger. I don't. Defending is up the pitch. Defending can be up in their 18-yard box. I'm not asking him to run back, track wingers all the way. That is some of his job. So no, I think my first thought with Tom Lawrence or Mason Mount or Harry or Joseph Zoon is what can they give us in an attacking sense. But just as importantly for the team is what they give us defensively, and I mean in high areas at different times. And there have been so many games this season where I've been delighted with Tom Lawrence, and it might be a performance that other people might go, Tom Lawrence didn't score today, or Tom Lawrence didn't create that last assist, but I can say, well, you know what, Tom Lawrence gave us so much, and that goes for any player in the team, and it's not always at first glance. So as I say, I'm fully with Tom, and he is a really, really talented player. I know what it means to him here to play for this club and how good he wants to be. And the same as I can say for a lot of players, they've got my full support.
Just one on Harry Wilson this week, I promise. Jurgen Klopp has just given his press conference and said, can't rule out completely ruling him out because of injuries, so we'll wait until the last moment to decide. So he was very happy with the way he's been playing, obviously. For you, how difficult is that, though, knowing that you might have to compensate for his departure? How does that change your January plans, if at all?
It's not difficult. I wouldn't expect Jurgen Klopp to say anything else. It's exactly what I would say if I was him. So it's just a matter of fact. We knew what we went into with Harry. I think from what he said there, they're happy with where he's at. And of course, he mentioned injuries, and we know that can happen. But I think the good news is he's happy with where Harry's at. I'm happy with where Harry's at, and so is Harry. So I think that's the good news for us. If anything changes, football will surprise you in a million ways, not just Harry potentially going back in January. So we have to be prepared for every eventuality, and we'll deal with it when they come.
Great. And how is your team looking injury-wise?
All good. We're the same as.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Frank, when the fixture list came out, was this one that you instantly looked for, you instantly circled?
Yeah, it was. As I said before, I felt this club and the rivalry between the two clubs as soon as I got here. I knew of it before through the history, particularly of Brian Clough, and watching documentaries and so forth growing up, watching videos of my dad's era where the rivalry was very strong. So I understood it very, very well. And as I've mentioned now and a few times in interviews, is that it's the games that we're here for, to feel an atmosphere like that. You know, people can bemoan any type of game where there's not a great atmosphere. Well, we won't be bemoaning anything this Monday night. It will be a strong atmosphere. It's up to the players to deliver.
And you're obviously, as you say, well aware of the history and Clough and that, but have you leaned on anyone else this week in terms of former players, former managers, to find out a bit more about the derby? No,
I haven't. I've just prepared. I prepared as normal in terms of watching Nottingham Forest, preparing our team with a view to what they may try and do to us, what we may be able to do to them. And it will come down to that. I don't think I need. I would always be happy to accept advice, but I understand the size of this game, and I understand the basics are that we need to perform at our best, and then I think we can win.
And a final one for me, on a wider context, we've had a number of incidents in the past few weeks, I'm sure you're aware of, with racism in football. We had the North London derby, we had Raheem Sterling last Sunday, and then the allegations against Chelsea. Can I just get your reaction to that and what you think needs to be done?
Well, I think, obviously, Raheem Sterling has spoken out. He's in a much better position than me to speak out. But of course, racism has to go out of the game, as it does modern society. That's an ongoing battle. I think it's improved a lot since the days of growing up watching my dad's era and actually travelling with England and playing in a lot of countries where they've got a lot more work to do. But the work can't stop there. I think in a bigger picture, and there is one here, and this is not to exclude racism is part of this, but I do get disappointed with the amount of hate that goes on in the modern society and game. Some of it's social media based. It's very plausible now to say, I don't like you because of how you look, because of your sex, because of your preferences, because of your family, because of your decisions that you made in your career. I think that's something we need to look at, and that's just about decency. For me, that's just about people, taking people at face value and respecting them. And I think, as a parent, I think that's something that I hold quite dear. I go and watch my nephew play a lot, and the amount of talk that comes out of parents' mouths in front of their children, this goes across every spectrum, back and forth about anything. And as I say, I'm not putting it on one thing. That is not really a good example for their child, and I'm not a perfect father, far from it, but I do take that as a responsibility, and I think we have to get back to basics across the board, and racism being part of that. But this general thing of where we can say anything about anybody and it's okay, I don't think it is okay. So I think we just need to get back to a bit of respect, and I'm not preaching because I think we all make mistakes, but if we can work towards that, more than any campaign, more than anything, it's what we do at home.
Frank, you just mentioned about your squad being